Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite Ravens channel and favorite Ravens podcast, talking Ravens all day, every day with host Justin P. This is episode 13 for the YouTube channel for the audio version, season one, episode 17. Y'all can check that out on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, Pandora. Basically, anywhere you get your podcast and music stuff from, just type in Talking Ravens all day, every day podcast. And they'll list all the available platforms. They're under the description as well, so you can check that out from there. They got two special guests. Let's start with the very first guest. Actually, come on here. My guy Chris just joking. He's 1/3 of the Deep Cover podcast. So y'all can go check that out with him and Michael Crawford. I forgot the other guy's name. Forgive me.
Kerry,
But
Kerry Stevenson.
Gary Stevenson. There you go. There you go. Yeah. So y'all can go check that out. I got the link in the description. So y'all can go support Chris and his crew. My second guest, he was on Kevin Ostrucker's show yesterday, man. They had a very good episode for Locked On Ravens crossover. One of the hosts for Locked On Saints, Mr. Ross Jackson, he's gonna come in here and chop it up with us, give us the Saints side of things. And we also got my other guy coming here, Bishop Staten, the block president. He'll be joining us momentarily. So, fellas, welcome to the show.
What's up, man? Thanks so much for having me. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, man. Glad to be back here chopping it up and getting into things for this Monday night game.
We're gonna start with Chris first. So go ahead, man. Just get into it. Give us some matchups, some position battles, anything you think that stands up to you. Plus, they got to win this game.
What I'm really excited to see are the two defenses. To be honest with you, I think it's going to be one of those kind of knock down, drag them out kind of games, and it's not going to be pretty football. It's going to be defensive football, in my opinion, and I'm excited to see it because we're Ravens fans, so we like defense. So I think it's going to be one of those kind of dirty games where it's going to be heavily on the defenses and see who can break first.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Ross. Floor is yours.
No, I completely agree with Chris, man. Like, the defenses in this game are going to be a ton of fun to watch. New Orleans Saints defense, though, has struggled a bit this season, particularly early, giving up a lot of big splash plays. You look at that Seattle Seahawks game in Week 5 where they gave up 6 plays of 32 yards or more, and a lot of those through the air, one of them with a 69-yard rushing touchdown to rookie running back Kenneth Walker. Now, since then, the Saints haven't allowed any passes to be completed through the air more than 20 yards. That marks also the return of safety Marcus May, so he's had a big impact on the big plays, on limiting the big plays over on the defensive side. But they've still given up some catch and runs. The big 60-yarder ended up being the difference against your division rival, the Cincinnati Bengals, or one of those division rivals in the Cincinnati Bengals, which ended up being the difference in the game. And guys like Devin Duvernay, guys like Deshaun Jackson, they have some big catch and run ability. So the Saints are going to have to make sure that they're still cleaning that up. And of course, where the Saints are strongest over on the offensive side, the Ravens are strongest on the defensive side, which is in and against the run game. So I look at where the Saints defense is right now, where they've been over the course of the past couple of weeks. They need to be able to maintain that type of performance to allow the Saints offense to be able to do what it is that they do best and hopefully find a way to break some of those things open for sure. So it'll be interesting, man. I think these two defenses are going to be a lot of fun to watch. And then, of course, the Saints have the tallest task of all, which is limiting Lamar Jackson. You don't stop Lamar Jackson. You can try to limit him, but you ain't stopping Lamar Jackson. So you got to be able to put the right athletes out there. So that's going to be the big piece for them on Monday.
Yeah, go ahead, Bishop, man. Bishop, I thought you can join this moment, child. So what, Bishop, the floor is yours, brother.
I'm glad to be here, guys. What up, Chris? What up, Ross?
What's going on?
Good to see you guys, man. I am the nut in the middle of MM&T Bank Stadium, man, getting things rocking and rolling. I haven't missed an away game in about 2 years, hoping that my Super Bowl chances rise. I just want to just point out the fact that I'm honored to be just a voice for the inside of Baltimore and what they do. So many different people that I love and know that's there. But I'm going to clear this air, man, and just let you guys know that the NFL is in trouble. Eric DeCosta has done something, oh my God, this year that a lot of people won't understand actually until it unfolds. I'm a guy of sportsmanship. I'm a guy of respect. I know the statistics. I've been around the game. I've snuck in the stadium. I've hopped seats. I've got on the field. I've been drugged out of stadiums. I know how things go. It's not so much of Greg Roman's fault. It's not so much of our defense. It's just the fact that the Ravens are becoming a well-rounded, healthy team as weeks go on. And other teams have seen, and we lost Rashad Bateman, granted. And I know, I'm so sorry, Michael Thomas. Oh God, one of the best. He is one of the best in the league. Let me tell you guys, I seen his pop in the last game he played. He is amazing. If I could steal him, if I could break some NFL rule to grab him, I would. He'd be my number one guy. I have to let the Saints know you got a guy, but unfortunately, injuries happen. We cannot turn the injury button off, and so we're dealing with the same thing, and you're dealing with the same thing we was dealing with last year. And injuries are unfortunate, but inside the game of what happened, whether Roquan's a rental, whether Lamar Sands' extension, no matter what's happened, this end of this year with everybody coming back. Mike McDonald, I seen him. I was at the Tampa game and I seen him coming through the tunnel. I said, Coach Mike, Max, stay steady. And he was just smiling. He didn't say that. He was just smiling. He knows that his pieces is getting ready to come back. And I think that we're going to be so much. The receiver room, let's talk about it. I'm done with that. Talent is talent on the defensive side, and we have completely bolstered this defensive side. It's Pro Bowlers everywhere. And they haven't had time to gel. They haven't been healthy enough to be able to grasp some type of handshake signal, guys, like the Bills have. They haven't been there yet because every week the week is brand new guys, injuries in, guys out. So I'm bracing the Ravens fans in good competition that we have the weakest schedule of the AFC moving forward for the rest of the year. Teams are under 500 and teams are injured. We had an injury between Rashad Bateman, and I'm not going to throw him under the bus and say that doesn't hurt us, but they went with all speed in this wide receiver room. Isabella, Deshaun Jackson, Devin Duvernay. I'm talking about just think about who we got left. And of course, I'm a realist, Crochet and Tyler Wallace on the back of the bus, but they are steady and they are playing. So, but these guys are coming in and they are making this offense. Since we have so many flaws in so many places to put points on the board conservatively, outside the box, they've made these teams of one-hit wonders, which means if you get guys on drag routes now and you're not there, they can be gone, which makes it easier for Lamar. So it makes it seem like, oh, Lamar's doing great and Lamar's doing great. Just watch it unfold. I'm calling this because I've watched the game for so long and I understand what Eric DeCosta had against him and I understand what he does. I credit every team we play, they have a fair shot against Baltimore. Baltimore is losable, okay? But I'm just letting you know the scare of all these pieces coming together healthy with all of these just speed wide receivers. We don't even have a wide receiver one, and we're not even thinking about getting one right now. They're just simply putting speed around Lamar Jackson. Gus Edwards will come back, and they put in the power game. It's pick and choose your poison. If Mark Ingram comes back healthy, Isaiah Likely is a breakout kid. If pick and choose your poison, and they gave this defense a guy, man, that's going to change the whole culture of Baltimore Ravens football. And if you don't believe it, just watch these next couple of weeks.
Yeah, Bishop, everything you just said was key, man. Like I said, this defense definitely was struggling because we have the injuries. Now you add a Roquan Smith. Now you get Tyus Bowser back. Now you get David Ojabo back, who is yet to see, what he can do. But it's just optimistic, like, he's going to help us because he should have been a first-round pick. Granted, he had the Achilles injury in the pro day. But, now Mike McDonald, he got all his toys, like you said. Now he can be a more aggressive, dial up more blitzes, play more man-to-man coverage on the back end. So, as me personally, I still think we need another corner because, the injury to Kyle Fuller has been hurting us a little bit because then Jalen Davis and Demarion Williams had to step up a little bit more. Demarion Williams have been playing pretty good, but I just think we still need a veteran slot. So, a guy like Sidney Jones just got released. I seen Chris post about it. That's something we should look at. I don't know how the cap situation is looking now, but I just think we can make it work. We should take a look at Sidney Jones. Of course, I want Odell back with me personally. I know that's a pipe dream, but that would make my Christmas. I even put out a tweet earlier and tagged Bishop, and I said, if Costa can sign these three players, I'll be his assistant for a whole month. Odell, Sue, and Sidney Jones. And I said his wife could sign off on it. I feel like those three pieces will really put this team like right there in Super Bowl contention. We're not far away now, but those three pieces was like solidified. But
Sometimes I didn't mean to cut you off. Sometimes it's good to throw that in the hair. Just for the record, we have 2.7 million left as of right now. The problem with Odell is he's not done with his full rehab. And so people don't even know. I throw it out in the air. Maybe they'll sue me, and I don't have a dime for him, but he's not fully done with recovery yet. And so before he signs with the team and gets in full participation, because he wants to come in at a tip-top level, and then he's already, I think, decided where he's going to go, because there's only 2 places or 3 places that he may go, and we all know is Baltimore, Buffalo, or back home to the New York Giants. So that's where we at. I'm sorry, Jake. Continue.
Good, but this game, like you said, both defenses are really high ranked and respected. Like Dennis Allen, defensive guy, he always had led the charge over there. The matchups for me is gonna be the offensive line and defensive line. All line versus the Saints D line, like Cam Jordan, who else? Marcus Davenport, those guys like that, like Omenyata, the defensive tackle, those guys like that, can Ronnie Stanley and them guys keep them guys off Lamar and open up holes in the running game. That's going to be very pivotal to me because, like I said, we're down Gus and J.K. for right now, so they get great. Justice Hill and Mike Davis, they're gonna have to make the game easy for us because I think we got to drop back past 50 times against the Saints. It could be a long day because, like I said, Cam Jordan and those guys can pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. He's a potential first ballot Hall of Famer, man. So so we definitely Mark Ingram over there giving a little bit of secrets. That's my guy.
Don't forget Brett Hundley.
Oh,
They brought
wow.
Brett Hundley. Yeah, they brought Brett Hundley in this week to have him. They basically brought him in. What Dennis Allen told us is that they brought him in to run the scout team basically to simulate Lamar because
I seen it.
they look at it as like, oh, he's an athletic player. He can be, kind of a mobile guy that can simulate, not do exactly or replicate Lamar, but simulate what it is at Lamar Jackson. They used to have Taysom doing that, but because now they have Taysom Hill focusing more at tight end, they don't utilize him in that way. He's got better things to do than to run the scout team, basically. And so, but they brought him in, and let's be real, he spent the preseason with the team too, so he's got a little bit of the trade secrets as well. So don't be surprised if you hear more and more about Brett Hundley tomorrow at practice running that scout team.
Oh yeah, it's like that's gonna be my thing. Like, and then our receivers versus y'all DBs, like can Duvernay and them guys get open consistently, to make life easy. We know the tight ends are gonna do their thing. Andrews a little nicked up, but Isaiah Likely, Josh Oliver, I think them guys can hold the fort down. Nick Boyle is basically, odd man out right now. I don't know what's going on with him, but then Charlie Cole will be back soon. But those are things I'm just looking at right there. All right, Chris, back to you, man.
Now I wanted to ask Ross something. Do you think Marshawn Lattimore is going to play? Because I know he's been a little. He's not. You don't think he's playing at all?
No. It's gonna be a little while before you see Marshawn back out on the field. He's got a liver thing. He tried to come up. So I talked about those 6 plays over 32 yards against Seattle. One of them, their starting deep safety was out, Marcus May, who they brought in for the New York Jets after they lost Marcus Williams, who of course signed in Baltimore. Unfortunate what happened with Marcus Williams, by the way. I was so looking forward to seeing him in that Baltimore defense. But he tried to come up over the top of a play to try to pick up where a safety wasn't effectively. And he and another player had a collision, kind of hit the midsection. So he's dealing with like a liver issue now because of that, as well as some rib injuries. And so it's a lot. So I don't think that we're going to see Marshawn for a long time. The Saints have or for a little while. The Saints have a bye week 14. So that's kind of maybe the target in terms of getting him back after the bye week, but it's going to be a little rough getting him back before then. But certainly, definitely won't be back in time for this weekend's game. Or this week's game. Sorry, it's a Monday night.
Gotcha.
Back to you, Bishop and Cam. You go.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, again.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that, brothers. I was having a hard time getting on, and then jumped right off. So I was shooting down from work, and then got down there, and then all types of mess happened.
Cam, you ain't got to lie. I know what it's like, homie. You got to get the polish going. You got to get the wax on.
Pardon the interruption.
This stay fresh. That's in the morning. Hello?
Yeah, we got you.
You good.
Okay.
Bishop, go ahead. Back to you, Bishop.
Oh yeah. And so what I was just hooking around on earlier is that I wanted to just find out like what's going on with our kicking situation. as far as when Tuck made that long field goal on a few games before, he kind of looked at the camera like, I always watch things like that. And sometimes, sometimes to be that champion, to be that winner, you have to go outside the box. So I was wondering if they joy in the fact when he makes game-winning stellar kicks so far out. And then when he kicks the kicks that he kicks from far distance, he has so much more leg room. And it's so much, how they talk about sometimes if the uprights were just a little bit smaller, he puts it right down the middle. I wonder why his chances are more less likely to kick than our offense that's so conservative and that wants to play conservatively, don't allow Justin Tucker to do 60 yards or in. Could anybody help me? I mean, just outside looking in. Because in coaching strategy, we joy in the fact that he douses. If we ever get in a situation where we had to make a long kick, 100% Justin Tucker. Kidding me? 60 yards or in, I'm thinking about
Lost him.
Must have froze.
The coaching staff, they shut all that talk down. They're like,
they're like, hey. I do think that the kicking between both of these teams is going to be, to me, this is kind of part of what the game comes down to. It doesn't necessarily have to be one of those situations where it comes down to a game-winning field goal as time expires, but a made field goal, a missed field goal at an earlier part, they get some momentum going between Will Lutz and between Justin Tucker. Like, that's a really good tandem of kickers to watch. What's up, Bish? We got you back.
And I'm sorry, guys. But yes, and a key thing, you hit it on the head, Ross. It is a kicking battle at the end of the day, because whenever a team that's trying to fight, it doesn't matter what team that's better than you comes in your house. When you have a home field advantage and you have a good kicker, I feel that any team is always in a game. And we can't disrespect the New Orleans Saints right now. Mark Ingram knows everything. Come on, guys, talk. They know the plays. They want to win. If we had the same options, we would use them too. It's not at our disposal because we don't have many guys that has came from New Orleans. But come on.
Marcus Williams, although he hurt, he still knows some stuff now.
He may know some stuff, but that's on the defensive side. And he watched them. He played against them every day in practice. And sure, he can tell us some things. But there's nothing like being that if the running game came from the running back and the quarterback. Mark Ingram is the second force to the pass down blocks. I'm talking about the running schemes to everything Lamar in Baltimore does. And so it's the most scariest thing. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you, 22 guys have to get on the field and they battle it out. And so, home field advantage always scares me. I'm sure Nola's going to be rocking. I think their basketball team is even doing pretty good this year with McCollum and Brandon Ingram. And so this city is goosed for a winning culture. And, they got over the Hurricane Katrina. Thank God for that. I did about 90 hours down there picking up dust and grime. And so I just wanted to feel it. And, I've been down that road before. So I'm a Raven because, I understand what it is, to grind this thing out. And so we built this team. And my second fear of this, Ross, Chris, is the fact that this team that's playing this game has never played before together. And so defensive side and offensive side, where you're talking about Geno Stone getting in, get reps now. And, Deshaun Jackson is whole brand new. And, we're going to have to depend on him and DeMarcus Robinson and however you want to shift it. But they're new within themselves. So we'll get some type of leverage, man. We'll see what happens.
Go ahead, Cam.
Was there a question that was posed, or
just give me your thoughts about just how this game gonna play out? That's all. I'll get into it.
All right, we as Ravens fans, Ross, you don't have this problem. Okay, you just listen. Okay.
All right, I'm checked in.
we have this problem. You don't have this problem. We don't value the receiver right now. Right? We all know that. Justin and I have been talking about this a lot. My biggest thing has always been the depth at receiver. right? Because injuries do happen. I hate the fact that anybody's trying to say Bateman's a bust because that injury, that one, hold on, I'm sorry. That injury didn't happen because he was just running like Hollywood, like his happened, like he just jumped up and in and he just came down a certain way. That injury actually happened when Pryor dove towards his ankle, hit him in the ankle. He caught the ball, Lamar threw the ball a little high, he caught the ball. Once he came down and tried to turn up, Pryor dove at his ankle, and that's when he tried to pull forward. So you're pulling a tendon, right? So I don't think it's obviously is nowhere near as bad as Hollywood's is because Hollywood's just put him out completely. This dude still tried to go, but how I think the game's gonna go, I think we got to really get back to what we did 2019, and we do have better receivers than we did in 2019. And the only what I'm saying as far as us getting back to what we did 2019, as far as like when we played the Rams that game, and Weddle, probably the smartest dude that ever played the game, one of the smartest dudes that ever played the game. He even said that it's so much that's going on. When forget pre-snap, but once the ball is snapped, that misdirection has to be there. We need to get back to that. It's happening because we are able to pull for the first time in a long time. We're able to pull on both sides. Like it doesn't matter if it's Powers or Stanley or Moses and Zeitler. So that, and even our center at this point in time. So that's a good thing. The Saints to me, the Saints have always been a scary team because they always remind me of us. Just that they're in the South. And I'm not talking about their defensive scheme or anything like that. I'm talking about their mentality. Like the way they approach the game. That's been because of Sean Payton. You know what I mean? I don't know who's the new coach? I can't remember his name.
Dennis Allen, former defensive coordinator.
I don't know how Allen is approaching the game with them. But it's like it's not even a style makes fights type thing. It's like you playing a mirror of yourself. Now who's gonna get the best of who at this particular time? I don't know. So I'm not worried, Bishop. I'm not worried about the new pieces in there because we don't value the receiver. So I'll be honest with you. After talking to you just yesterday, I think Deshaun is probably going to get maybe, I want to say the most 20 snaps. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a decoy or maybe he's not. My biggest thing as not just as a fan of the Ravens, but just, no, I'm going to correct that. My biggest thing as a fan of the Ravens, as far as our receivers, I need to see 3 receivers show up that we drafted: Duvernay, Tylen, and James. And I need to see if they're gonna really get the opportunities that's supposed to be presented to them, because it hasn't really been done. You know what I'm saying? Like they all can catch. It doesn't matter. It don't matter if Tylen's covered or not. He catching the ball. So. I just need to see something. As far as the defense is concerned, I think the defense is coming around. They're going to get better, and, it's just what it is right now. But that's all I got to say right now, brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. Like I just previously said, them 3 definitely got to get more opportunities. We was drafted here, so me and Chris talked about this before, like came on my other podcast right before the draft. We were saying those 3 guys gotta this not really a make or break year. This a year to see if, like, all right, can they really play and be pro level receivers? So now with Bateman going out, I think Lamar is at his best when he spreads the ball around. I know me and you talked about this before, Cam. Like when he forces on one person, like he did with Hollywood last year, or 2 people, he kind of limits himself. And now defense is key on those 2 guys and take my game. Like last year, Jesse Bates said he only looked for 2 people. Number 5. But 89. So, now with him spreading the ball around against Tampa Bay, when Andrews got hurt, of course, you don't want to see your best target get hurt. But once he got hurt, it forced Lamar to spread the ball around. And then the offense gradually started moving the ball. Isaiah likely got involved. Duvernay had some catches. DeMarcus Robinson had some catches. James O'Shea had a couple catches. And then the running game, too. That's one thing we got to realize. We are a running team that can pass the football. Yeah. So the running back first. We got to give Drake his carries. Justice Hill. Even Mike Davis, let him come in on 4th and 2, 4th and 3, or 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. Get a couple of them dirty runs. And then in the red zone, use Patrick Ricard. Like I said, you got a 300-pound fullback. You can give him a carry on the 1 or 2 yard line. That's what we got to do a better job this game of scoring in the red zone. Because like I said, kicking field goals is cool, but I'd rather take 7 versus 3 any day. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, as far as the offense is concerned, I was talking about it last night with Mike and Kerry on the deep cover, and it's the two sides of Greg Roman is so strange because you watch the first half of the Bucks game and they can't do anything. Then you watch the second half and you see the ball being spread around. You see RPO make its way back into the offense, and it's like, why can't it be like this every time? But you got the run game going, you got the passing game going, and you see Lamar locked in because the past few weeks Lamar wasn't totally locked in, like he wasn't the Lamar we're used to seeing, and it was just like something just snapped between Lamar and Greg Roman, and it's like if we could get that consistently throughout the season, it's going to be like Cam said, it's going to be like 2019 if they can get that going because the O-line has improved tremendously from last year. So if we get that run game going, you get Gus back, get JK back maybe in a few weeks. I mean, Drake and Justice Hill, they've been doing their thing. They perform really well when they're given the opportunity. So if we can get this thing rolling, hey, let's, I'm all on board with that, especially being down Rashad Bateman and possibly being down Mark Andrews on Mondays too. So, it's going to be, all hands on deck like it was that second half of the Bucks game where you see Lamar spreading the ball around. DeMarcus Robinson was making plays. Prochet made a few clutch catches. You see Isaiah Likely come on. So, that's what you want to see. You want to see guys being able to spread the ball around and not key in just on one guy. Like, let's stop Mark Andrews. And then when you stop Mark Andrews, everything just sputters out of control. So make it difficult for the defense. Don't make it easy for them.
Agree. Go ahead, Ross.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at this game, I guess the biggest thing for me is obviously limiting Lamar Jackson. Y'all are kind of breaking down and talking about the weapons that he has and everything. And I think that that's wise to look at because the big thing right now when it comes to limiting any mobile quarterback in the NFL is that even if you allow him to break off a couple of runs, you're talking about at max 10 plays on offense under normal circumstances. So the big thing is don't let him have a second avenue. You can't let him have a run game that's working with one of the other backs. You can't let him work with, a Devin Duvernay who's getting, yak yards, run after catch, a James Prochet who's, a good possession guy that, can help to extend some plays. You can't give them that second avenue. So when I look at what the New Orleans Saints defense is being charged to do in this game, it's not just as simple as limit Lamar Jackson. It's limit Lamar Jackson and take away the other players. So you see a lot of mush rush. You see a lot of 3 safety sets. So you get more athletic players on the field, but also good hitters, solid tacklers. I mean, that's one of the things that has to be cleaned up for this New Orleans Saints team. They had 32 missed tackles going into the game up against the Las Vegas Raiders last week. They only missed about a handful of tackles in that matchup, which was a vast improvement from the double-digit missed tackles they had in previous games. And so that has to be something that the Saints continue forward. So just like the Ravens started to kind of pick up a little bit of a rhythm. I know that they alternated win-loss up until they kind of got on a little bit of a more of a streak here. The Saints are trying to do the same thing to where they had a nice statement win against an okay Raiders team, but still an NFL team. It's hard to shut teams out in the NFL, but you have to build on that and be able to show something here. So I think that this is an important game for the New Orleans Saints who are trying to keep their season alive. They're in the only division in the NFL that does not have a team with a winning record. The NFC South is just depressing, being led by a 4-4 Atlanta Falcons team that nobody thought was going to do anything, and then being backed by a Carolina Panthers team that is, tried to sell off all of its major assets after firing its head coach, but yet somehow still winning big games. So it's just been a weird division so far this season, and it's one of the reasons why the Saints were 2-5 going into last week's game and still very much alive in the division. They're in that situation again here. They're one game behind the only team that they have actually beat within the division. So that's a good place for you to be. So, I think you can say that New Orleans is maybe the more desperate team coming into this, but desperate teams and desperate play is not the same as good play, right? Those are very different things. And a lot of the issues that the Saints have had early on in the season were penalties, turnovers. They're last in the NFL when it comes to turnover differential at -9. They are, missed tackles, penalties really on both sides of the ball. They lead the NFL right now in terms of defensive holding calls. They've had a lot of procedural penalties, false starts, illegal shifts, things like that, pre-snap stuff, delay of games, all of that. So it was a lot of shooting themselves in the foot. It was a lot of self-inflicted wounds. And all of those things are the difference between playing bad football and playing good football. These aren't big, like wide swathing change needed situations. And so they've gotten better over the course of the past couple of weeks. They've had 2 out of their last 3 games with no sacks. The offensive line is playing really well, but they have a really big task here headed into going up against guys like Justin Houston and Calais Campbell and Roquan Smith, who can help to supplement that pass rush, Patrick Queen, who can help to supplement that pass rush. So, and even, guys at the third level that could supplement pass rush in that system as well. So that's going to be kind of their biggest task, is keeping Andy Dalton clean. Andy Dalton had a nice, laid back game last week because he was pressured twice in the entire game in terms of his 30 dropbacks. He was pressured 2 times. That's not going to be the case against the Ravens. So can you continue to produce a team that's been number 1 in touchdowns over the course of the past 4 games? They've been number 3 in terms of third down efficiency. You have to hold on to those things in order to beat this team, as far as I'm concerned, but you have to be able to do so while still being able to weather a storm when it comes to the pass rush. So, I talked about the Ravens offensive line versus the Saints defensive line as one of those things. I look at the Saints offensive line against this Ravens defense in the pass rush and being able to hold up against that as being another major key, because look, Andy Dalton's not going to have a Michael Thomas to bail him out. He's got a Chris Olave who's been outstanding so far this season, and the path right now is clear for Chris Olave to be the wide receiver 1 that the Saints expected him to be next year or the year after. He's in that position already. He leads all rookies across the NFL in terms of targets, receptions, receiving yards, and he leads all rookie wide receivers in terms of first downs at 24. He's got 16 catches on the season on third down. 13 of them have resulted in a fresh set of downs, and he's averaging 12.4 yards per catch on third down. Those are the qualities of a number 1 receiver. Those are the guys that keep your drives alive. So if the Saints are able to continue to replicate that, and if they could be getting Jarvis Landry back this week. We saw him at practice yesterday, saw him at practice again today. We'll see if he's there tomorrow. Then that puts them in a situation where they have 2 guys that can help to move the chains and help to keep drives alive. And that might be key, because if you can't limit Lamar Jackson on the other side, your other option is to keep the ball from being in his hands. And so Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, and Jarvis Landry become a very condensed attack that's just trying to pick up 4 yards, 5 yards, 2 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, 2 yards, and continue to extend those drives into 8, 9, 10, 14 play drives like they did last week against the Raiders, and then keep the ball out of the Ravens offense's hands. But to the point about the red zone, the Saints right now, one of the top teams in converting red zone possessions to touchdowns, one of the top teams in stopping teams from converting their red zone possessions into touchdowns. So they've been on the top of that metric on both the offensive and defensive side, and that could very well be the difference. Which team is more efficient in the red zone and capping drives off with 7 as opposed to 3? Whichever team's able to do that should be the one to win this week.
Okay. Go ahead, Bishop.
Look for Roquan Smith to play loads of minutes in this Raven game. Roquan Smith that doesn't know a thing is far better than a Josh Bynes any day of the week. A Roquan Smith coming in there with a pulled hamstring will be the starting middle linebacker and get all my downs for me this weekend. I want to warn New Orleans because I want this to be a good game, and I will be there. So, I won't say, blowout, 50-0. No, I won't do that. This is football. This is the game. Referees have their own agenda. It's going to be a game. It's going to be a great game. They're going to fight. But I want to warn New Orleans that this is simple. The pressure is coming, and we're gonna try to force the quarterback to make split decisions.
Has to be the game. Has to be the game.
It is just clear cut at this point, and if they're gonna make the plays and beat us, fine. Also, Gus Edwards is a big key point into how the margin will be in scoring. Okay, if Gus Edwards is healthy and he plays, of course we're more likely to put it on the ground to him more than throwing, and especially that Rashad Bateman is now out. And not knowing what you really have until you see it game, we're more likely to give it to him and Drake and Hill and Lamar, of course, who you have to all try to offset. But all in all, this defense is coming. For some reason, I think David Ajabo is going to play this Monday night and going to shock the world. Only because I think they can put him on limited just to get his feet wet in a Monday night football game. He's primary ready. If that doesn't happen, it's okay. But Baltimore is coming on in the next couple of weeks at the start and the end of a crossroad, which we have so many good guys. They're going to have to find out who they're going to really give the minutes to. Tyus Bowser was your Pro Bowler edge. JPP is your all-world Pro Bowler. Wouldn't say probably make the Hall of Fame, and I think he should. But I just think things happen. You have, oh my God, Justin Houston, who is now your sack leader. And so we are at a crossroad. And I think whoever it is going to be a good starter. It's going to be a good backup. And it's going to be a good depth guy. And the other guy's going to get fed up. He's going to lose 1 year out of Baltimore. And they will also extend a lot of contracts or send the bag, or what we call it, to a lot of different people because of what's going on in this defense this year. And so I'm just excited to see, what is New Orleans gonna do. Being that Roquan, you're gonna see a lot of cover zero this week, and Mike McDonald never plays it. He almost never plays it, but you're gonna see because Roquan is there alone, and because you can take chances on just a two-step drop, you backing under the center or in shotgun and have to get rid of it. With guys like Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, your Kyle Hamilton that can stretch the field with so much length to try to make quick plays. And zone decoys, which you'll see a lot of, if their running game doesn't keep us standard. Because I feel as though because we are said to be a good run defense, you have guys like Calais Campbell and Travis Jones and Justin BK stuff to run in the outstar. You have to go to your passing game. Once you do that, Baltimore, because of Roquan now, has way more options. And I told you, look, it is what it is. I feel good about it. But look for these guys to come in rested, ready, rehab. A rehab player, if he can stay healthy, always does well because he's been working all along, not just on his game, but on his body. And so there's a lot of things to consider, man. The city of New Orleans, I can't wait to get down there, eat me some good old gumbo.
Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm flying in early. I'm flying in at 7:45 so I can get a big, it's big portions in New Orleans. So I'm just excited for the atmosphere. I'm sure the crowd will be rocking. But just if all else fails, New Orleans, I'll shake your hand. But Baltimore's climbing, guys. And I just want the world to know, don't catch it by surprise. We have a lot of speed around Lamar. We have an all-world defense who just never had time to be together. This is their first week together, and they're getting healthy, and we'll see what happens. So good luck to my New Orleans fans and players and coaches, but I'm gonna give an early prediction, man, and I need everybody to hear this to understand where I'm coming from. 38-17. Baltimore shines with Roquan, and he's on the sideline talking about we got cooking grease, and not so much of him, but what he has now around him. And now Mike McDonald can grasp it immediately, especially bringing his guys back. And you just have so many good pieces now because all of them are here that it's almost like you can't lose.
Go ahead, Cam. Floor is yours.
Bishop taking us to church, boy. You trying to hit the heart, huh? That's what you're trying to do. Then don't do that.
That's why he the flop.
Huh?
Why he the flop president?
You have to have somebody. This ain't hate teaching. This ain't hate teaching. This is love teaching. Because I wouldn't tell you if I didn't love you. Come on, Ross. Can I hear you say amen?
Amen, baby. You know I got you. I'm all about some church. We got Sunday off. I'm all about some church.
I heard that you can go to the. My mom used to tell me you can go to the football game, fly where you want to fly, but 8 a.m. service, I better see you there.
Oh man. I'll do, I don't do predictions, bro, or as far as like what the score gonna be. Do I want us to win? Of course I do. But I think Lamar gotta hit that zone again, man. That's what I'm praying for. I'm praying for him to hit that zone. And I know people are saying maybe the contract is bothering him. It could be, because I did listen to him on the Adam Schefter show. Not Adam Schefter, I'm sorry.
Eisen?
Huh?
Was it Rich Eisen?
Yeah, Rich Eisen show. And even and everything he said was justified. He said, Rich Eisen asked him about if Flacco, like Steve Bisciotti came to Flacco, said, look, if you win the Super Bowl, you can have whatever you want, and Rich asked him about that. He said, nah, nobody ever asked me that, because Steve didn't say that to him, but he said, honestly, I don't think that I need to have to do that when I've already proven myself. And he said it quietly. He didn't say it in any type of arrogance, but the truth is the truth. Like, that man has proven himself. He proved himself after his second year. So, I wanted to ask y'all, as far as Chris, especially Chris, when you said, remember you said about the Tampa Bay game, the first half, when we came out there in that spread, and then some people was like saying it wasn't going to work. It wasn't working. But my biggest question was, is it not working because, one, the passing scheme, two, because we didn't have all our weapons available to us? Like, Mark wasn't really that healthy. Rashad definitely wasn't healthy. Like, I'm wondering if that's the biggest reason why it didn't work, because when we went spread a lot of times last year, majority of the time we had to, right? Because we couldn't really run the ball and offensive line was, all beat up. And Lamar loves that because he did it in Louisville, and it's easy for him. It's not like we can't run out the spread, because we definitely can. But I'm wondering if it didn't work because of the scheme, because of I don't know. I know things have changed because Keith and T are there, but they're not the true ones that's making the calls. It could be in whoever brought the idea in. It could have came from them. It could have came from anybody, but somebody got to make the call. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm wondering if that's the reason. Like, once Mark got hurt, I know they said they was going to change it anyway. Their plan was to run it out, second half. But it should have been that from the gate, because it's a Thursday night game. Common sense to tell you run the ball, because the defense is going to be tired regardless. You know what I'm saying? So with me saying that, like, if we do go back to that, if we've had some time to study, we had some time to actually figure it out with the receivers that we have. Mind you, DeMarcus Robinson's on the injury report. Y'all do know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw.
Again, we down to 4 receivers, huh?
I posted it earlier.
Yeah, I didn't say it. Yeah, again, we down to 4 receivers. He didn't practice yesterday. He was limited today. We got bad luck when it comes to the health of the receivers right now. I don't know. I think every test is a test. You know what I'm saying? And in all honesty, I think it works out in Lamar's favor, because, again, he got to play Superman. He had to play Superman last year before he got injured. He got to play Superman. That second half, he had to hit his zone, and you could feel it. Even when he got on Pat Ricard, you could feel he was hitting that zone. I'm just praying he's gonna hit that zone. Like, even he didn't even know that Rashad was hurt. I don't know if y'all saw that in an when it was his time to get to the podium, he started talking, and they brought the I think Jameson Hemsley brought it up. He was surprised. He's like, I'm just finding this out right now. Like, he didn't know that he was gonna be out for the season, and I feel bad for him, bro, because we've never had nobody this good at quarterback. And if we do him dirty, I swear to you, it's gonna be all bad luck. You know how much bad luck we had at running back when we did Ray Rice dirty? It's gonna be dirty again, bro. I don't want that to happen. And he's been my favorite. He was my favorite quarterback in college. He's obviously my favorite quarterback now. That's gonna hurt, yo. I just want to buy after this game. Just get the contract done. Let him clear his head so he can just focus. He want to win. That's all. Let me tell you something. I don't know if you know this, Ross. Lamar is the most humble quarterback you ever gonna meet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, say that louder for the people in the back, Cam.
He's the most humble quarterback you ever gonna meet.
God, man.
I've never seen a quarterback. He didn't even want to say my team. The media forced him to say my team.
Yep. That's one of the things that I love about Lamar. I mean, like, I think that it's evident in the fact that he represents himself, first of all. I think it's also evident in the fact that he was willing to put a drop-dead deadline in terms of his contract talks so that it wouldn't distract over the course of the season for his team. He didn't want his contract to be a distraction for the teammates around him, which I thought was really admirable, because some folks would carry that into the season. Used to be holdout conversations, things like that. I know the new CBA has sort of made holdouts basically impossible and stuff like that. But it's one of the things that I've always loved about Lamar Jackson is the man that he is. Not just the player he is. He's electrifying. He's fantastic to watch on the field. But the man that he is, I think, makes him even more special. And I absolutely believe that. I've seen that. Yeah, he's awesome, man.
I just want to point this out, the fact that I've been talking to Justin about this. If you pay Lamar whatever he wants, you have nothing to lose, because if anything happens to him, you seem like you want Tyler Huntley as your guy anyway by not paying him.
Right.
And if he's ever healthy, he's going to be our number one guy for the next 5 years anyway. So you go ahead and give him your money. You have nothing to lose. He didn't play last year. And if the defense was as bad as it was, I think we'd have won one game. So Tyler Huntley is a good backup on what, $2.5 million a year on an in and out agreement? Come on. If you pay Lamar Jackson, and God forbid, knock on wood, anything ever happens to him, you look like you wanted Huntley anyway. But, on a cheap deal, I can build my defense. Seem like, if you just be honest, man, Roquan coming over, one paid, one franchise tag. Come on, man. Everybody knows, man, we would love to just do the franchise tag. But at the end of the day, he deserves his money, because we know Marcus Peters may not be there next year. We know Chuck Clark may not be. We know guys like Calais Campbell, and, especially if they don't win it all this year. So it's going into revamp, but we kept the Pro Bowlers and the vets just so we can keep them for the rights of the Super Bowl run. And so, but come on, man, I'm fed up with just the drama of our fan base. I believe you are right, Chris. If we get this out the way, man, we'll be a better suited fitted for our Super Bowl run, man. But just go ahead and get the money, and it's all hard. But either way, Lamar's fighting. Lamar's fighting for a contract that he already deserves. And every little thing they do, they're watching. And it's not Lamar. Lamar's a gamer. I was hard on him when I seen that throwing was a problem. But let me tell you something. Lamar went in this summer. Everybody's seen it. He picked up his weight, so that way a little bit of the leg tackles he can get off, and he does a lot more this year. Just for the fact of his throws, he doesn't necessarily overthrow. I think sometimes the receivers be in bad positions. Whether I seen like that Tylan Wallace though, I wish he was like 6'4". I wish that was like Shamar Bridges or somebody like that. Because instead of being overthrown, he could have just jumped up and grabbed it because of his length. But it wasn't necessarily a bad throw. It was on the money, but if he was a little bigger, he could have leaped and got it. But he was just coming out of his route. But not just for one particular route. His throwing motion, everything has gotten better. And so I'm excited for that. I'm gonna let AJ come on. I'm excited for that. And don't just be so hard on Roman. Don't just be so hard on Lamar Jackson. Don't just be so hard on defense. Everything has to work for a team to win a game, much more win a Super Bowl. Welcome, AJ.
Oh, they're gonna call. And I was wondering when he's gonna hop on, but yeah, he can't. Yeah, Ross, man, if you gotta go, man, thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate it, man. I know I kept you longer than anticipated, man.
All good. I appreciate y'all, man.
Ross, you are the man. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep that head ball to your phone, baby.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all, man. It's such a pleasure. Thanks so much for having me on.
You're doing a great job, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate y'all.
I wanted y'all two to chop it up, but it's okay.
We'll make it happen again. Let's do a post game something or whatever. I'll come through.
Yes, sir.
Look, we're coming on Tuesday with lunch break hot take. You want to come on?
What was that?
Tuesday. We doing a recap of the Monday night game.
Yeah,
Same.
Tuesday. That's our day off here, so that's perfect. That's perfect because they won't practice or anything on Tuesday, so I'll be available.
We're doing
Right.
Yeah,
6:30. So boom, we'll have you back on, and y'all two can chop it
that's
up.
perfect. That's perfect. Shoot me a message though. Make sure I don't forget.
No problem. I got you.
All right, y'all. I appreciate you.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Y'all too.
I'm gonna say this, then I'm gonna let co-host do his thing. Let him go ahead and speak his mind. Everything y'all said was right. Like I said, they definitely got to get that out the way, like sooner rather than later. That way, it won't, like you said, won't cloud his judgment and all that. And then you to extend him now, you free up cap space. Now you can make some more moves in the off season to go get a big play receiver or corner or whatever your heart may desire. But just get it out the way. And like you said, Ed Roquan, I'm pretty sure they'll probably tag him to give him a little rum so they can work something out. And he probably wouldn't mind playing on a franchise tag for us versus the Bears because us, he has a chance to win. So I think he'll do that. Plus he'll get like 18, 19 million or something like that. But we definitely got to get Andy Dalton on the ground, man. Like I said, he's been out throwing it outside since the day he's in Cincinnati. So we can't take him lightly. For sure, he still got Chris Olave. He still got. I don't know if Jarvis Landry is playing or not. I forgot to ask.
He practiced. You said he practiced.
Okay, all right.
He practiced twice, so he probably gonna play.
Okay, and they still got Alvin Kamara and all guys like that. So we gotta definitely get after Andy Dalton early. Bowser and Jabo being active now, that's going to help a whole lot. So I'm looking forward to that pass rush getting home. Like I said, the receiver talk, I'm going to say that for AJ. But I just want to see, I want to at least get 4 or 5 sacks on Monday night. Cole, the floor is yours.
Man, what's going on, fellas? Man, my bad. I'm a little late. I got into a new career, so I've been out on the road, driving the roads a little bit. So, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So,
Got to get that money.
gotta get that money. So, I was running some loads, up the mountains today. So, but I'm here. We're gonna talk football like how we always do, Ravens football, and we all know what the big announcement is Roquan Smith, of course, and we know what the big other announcement is Rashad Bateman is done. Um, Here's the thing. I say it and I say it all the time. We have wide receivers. We don't use them. We just seen in this Tampa Bay game what we had. You know what I'm saying? Prochet out there. You know what I'm saying? Well, Mark Andrews went down. I remember I said it, Justin. I said it'd be a good thing if Andrews, if he didn't play, but we need him to play, and you'll really see how Roman is able to use everybody else. Because before you went down, man, we seen it. Lamar was throwing in tight windows, and I'm like, man, that ball gonna get intercepted. But he go down. So I think Demarcus Robinson, he showed flashes. Duvernay, of course, we know what he brings to the table. And then you got D-Jack coming up. The thing is, if you got them guys out there on the field, the speed is there because for one, Duvernay could run and D-Jack could run, and Robinson could be that underneath guy. But I would like to see Likely play a little bit more wide receiver. I feel like at tight end, he's a hybrid player, but to me, he's more of a wide receiver guy. He can go out there, he can catch the ball if you throw it. And what I like about him is, man, when he catch the ball, he's looking to run. He's looking to run somebody over. He wants it. You know what I'm saying? He wants that first down. So I definitely would like to see that. When it comes to Roquan Smith, all I got to say is, man, tackles. What we've been missing, a guy who can go sideline to sideline, get off blocks. I mean, get off the guard. Don't get hung up on the block. Um, with us giving up a second and a couple of fifths, here's my thing. The future for Queen, I don't think, and I've said it, I don't think we're going to extend him or we're not going to give him a lot of money. And if we do, it's only going to be for death. But you got to remember, Ross is still on the roster. So do you look at Queen and say, well, we can give you more chances, or do you look at Ross and say, well, look, let's really see what you can do? So he played at Michigan. Mike already defensive coordinator. So it's like, well, what do you do now? Do you get rid of Queen? Because Queen is not going to get a big payday. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. And he could test the market, but the way he plays, he's not going to fit with everybody. So my thing is, they could offer him a little bit of money and say you can stay, or if not, you can bounce. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, when Ross come back, he gonna be hungry. And one thing I like about him is he go to the ball. He plays hype. He looks to make the play. He got IQ. You see it. Queen is still developing as a player. As a middle linebacker in the league. He shows flashes at times, but he's very inconsistent. And the thing with him is he tries to use his speed to make plays, and that doesn't always work. Sometimes when he uses that speed, he takes bad angles on tackles. He overshoots the tackles. He overruns the play, and then it just throws him out of the picture. But with Roquan coming in, man, the possibilities are endless now because now you got a guy who can just stuff the middle. You can rotate guys in and out at all linebacker positions, especially with Bowser and Jarbo coming back. So now it's like I would like to see on goal lines, me personally, Harrison and Roquan to me would be great on goal lines. You know what I'm saying? Like get a guy like Harrison, he can go in there and take on 2 blocks and let Roquan run free. Whereas if you put Queen right there, he really can't get off blocks and go make the tackle. But I mean, it's a big move. I'm excited. I was hoping that we was gonna get, legitimate, wide receiver, and I wouldn't mind bringing Shamar Bridges back. I want him. You know what I'm saying? He's six. What are you 6'4", 6'5", Bishop?
6'4", 217, and a freak of nature. Catch the ball and do a backwards flip. I seen it with my own eyes, and just to get one toe down, I don't know what the hell are we doing, and it has to be displayed just like that. I don't know what the hell we are doing. Shamar Bridges is it, man, and I don't. Hey,
if he got injured, you got to remember he's on. They put him on the waiver IR. He got injured that last game.
Yeah, and then he had an injury.
I even tried to pick him up. He's still on, technically on the team, quote unquote, but he's on that waiver injury, so he's there. He just ain't going. He can't do nothing.
Yeah, and then this is my thing too. If we bring another receiver in, that's pushing the other guys that we just signed, Isabella and all of. I don't. The wide receiver room is the most trickiest part of the Ravens, and so I'm thinking that Roman is kind of trending away from needing a receiver, man. And AJ, because the first part of the year we was battle tested, and Mark Andrews is gone. I'm sure that this is an opportunity where Roman is gonna take a lot of shots downfield. Be very watchful for that because these are guys that are not your wide receiver number ones, and like you go to a select guy. Duvernay run his look, the hit the dude, plays big, run him. But look for the shots Monday night down the field to be able to relax the coverage so Isaiah can go to work. Because being that Mark Andrews is out, Lamar does spread it around a little bit more, but he seems to go with the guy that he thinks that's for sure, more so than he'll go to his other receivers. But he will have to at some point, because I'm not going to sit here and say Mark Andrews is not best for us. He is not top 3 wide receiver in the league. But when Mark Andrews is off the field, I feel that is a better look for Lamar because he has to basically survey the field instead of getting to play and knowing off top, I'm coming to Mark Andrews.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Like I said, I had told that to Justin. I was like, if he can't go, I said we'll really, be able to see what we really have because we really don't know what we have. I mean, Poche is a guy who I feel like he could be a possession, wide receiver. He's a possession guy. You know what Duvernay can do. He can do it all. Andy Isabella got the speed. DJ got the speed. Before Bateman went down, he was the guy who would get separation, catch the ball, and just go. But now, if Andrews can go, we get to see Likely. And don't forget, Charlie Cola, the other tight end that we got, who I think he's like 6'6", 250. I mean, he could block and he could go catch. So here's the thing with the tight end room. I'm not sure what's going on with Nick Boyle. He only plays limited snaps, and I noticed we only put him in there when we go to the goal line. Really, he really doesn't play. This is his last year as a Raven. But the same thing with Josh Oliver. He gets in there, and sometimes he makes blocks, but sometimes he gets pushed back. But and in that Giants game, he was getting open. He dropped a couple of passes, but he was getting open. It's just we got to see what we got. And, of course, in the run game, they definitely help out because the thing is, you could put Patrick Ricard in as a tight end if you want to go heavy. Put all your heavy guys right there. We can run 2 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets. Um, but this game against the Saints, we just need to go out and play Ravens smash mouth football. I'm tired of Roman keep trying to play around and see where he can go. Nah, go out there and play our game. We know what we have. Go out there, execute it. The offensive line is playing great. As far as like in the run game, pass protection. This last game, they was a little sloppy. They cleaned it up second half. But as far as in the run game, I mean, we killing it. And hats off to Ronnie Stanley, man, for coming back. Ben Powers, he's starting to come into his own. Linderbaum, man, is just to me, that's our since EDC been in office, that's his best draft pick to me. You look at everybody else, Holly from the first round. You look at Hollywood, not it. Look at Queen, he's still trying to see how to play football. Oway, this is his second year, and we what 8 going on 9 games in, and you only got 1 sack, and it was an accidental sack where you got pushed into Josh Allen by the tackle. That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. You look at Bateman. We know we've seen flashes, but injuries is just it's hurting us. So when they come to the first round pick, to me Linderbaum was. I mean, he just clicking on all cylinders, man. The way he played, I mean, man, that dude is just. I mean, he nice.
We're gonna get to some matchups. Let's go to Saint receivers versus Ravens TV. Chris, you can start.
You on mute? You on mute, Chris?
My fault, fellas. So the spot I'm looking at the most is and I know Ross said it before he hopped off was that Jarvis might play. So that's a big spot because we've seen teams try to pick on that slot corner, whether it's Pepe, whether it's Brandon Stevens. Last game, the Ravens had to move Marlon Humphrey into the slot just to try to stop all of that, the quick passes to Chris Godwin. So I think that's going to be huge. And Chris Olave, he's a dude who could move around as well. Like he could beat you on the outside, he could move on the inside. So I think that's going to be a key matchup, especially if Jarvis plays, because we know Jarvis he's a monster in the slot. We already know that. We've seen him be able to do it year after year. So I think that's going to be the biggest matchup. But luckily they're going to be down Michael Thomas. Hopefully they down Jarvis too, because I mean, we know it better than anybody else. When those top guys start going down and you start relying on the backups, anything goes. We know that Marquez Callaway or Traquan Smith, those aren't the caliber of dudes that Michael Thomas or Jarvis Landry is. So hopefully those will be the guys that Pepe and Brandon Stevens will be going up against, and then even if they do, it's no given that they'll be able to lock them up. So hopefully that's the spot that they could shore up, because I think you said it earlier, Justin, when we started. That's really the spot that is kind of a glaring hole, and it's unfortunate that Kyle Fuller went down in that Jets game, because who knows how that spot would be looking right now if he was healthy.
Go ahead, Cam.
I think I just want to piggyback on that what Chris was saying, and I wanted to ask AJ a question. I think you're right about that, as far as like that's the biggest glaring hole to me too, as far as like because they're young. Like Brandon Stevens hasn't been playing defense for God knows how long, and he's been an outside corner. I mean, he's played in the nickel at SMU. He played safety. He played all over, but it seems like his best games have actually been him being on the outside. I think it has to be what Mike McDonald has to do is do matchups, and that's when you see the right person in the slot. Certain people come in. That's where you see the success. Like I don't want to see Kyle Hamilton or Robinson like he was on the Giants. Like he should have never been on him. That's a 4-3 receiver, and Kyle Hamilton is not going to. It's 4-3 shifty receiver at that, and you shouldn't be covering him. I don't care if he's in the slot or not. Like you got to be able to audible out of certain things. But I think that as far as Queen, I don't think that we're going to let him go that easy. I honestly don't think that. I think that because it's always two linebackers, and this year he's been more consistent on the weak side. That's what he played in college anyway. He never was the Mike linebacker. So him developing, you got to remember, CJ Mosley had Darryl Smith. Queen has had nobody that's a dominant Pro Bowl receiver playing right next to him. This is the first time that he's actually going to have somebody that's actually better than him. Malik, I like Malik, but I think Malik is better. I honestly think Malik will be better in the 4-3 system than he will be in the 3-4 because how strong he is and he plays the same position so well. So I love the fact that Mike McDonald sometimes switches him back and makes it look like we in a 4-3 set. And he gets off that way. But Queen has never had anybody next to him that can coach him up on the field that's going to make him look better, that's going to make him get better. CJ had that. Even for a little bit of time, Ray had that. But Ray was just a different story. Ray just on a different plane. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's going to help Queen. And plus, you got to remember this. He still got 2 more years on his contract. So it's not like we can't pick up the 5th-year option and see if he really gonna get paid. And the fact the cap is gonna go up, we're gonna have a lot of cap space next year. We're supposed to have a lot of cap space next year. Make it more. Get Lamar's contract done now. That $13 million to open up that you was talking about, Just. And then after the season is over, since you see what if Roquan, if he actually fits in the system, which he will, because he was under Vic Fangio and he was under Chuck Pagano, and that's the time he had his All-Pro years. Those past 2 years. This year, it is a different system. That 4-3 system, they run more of that like a wide 9 now. So it's a little different, the system that they run in Chicago. And he's still the leading tackler. So this would be perfect for him. So hopefully, I'm hoping that we are able to keep all our, most of our first rounders. Not somebody that wants to get out of town. Like Hollywood wanted to get out of town. I do agree with Raven C though. Honestly, whether we want to admit it or not, Hollywood was the best receiver we've had that we drafted in the first round thus far. He's the first one. AJ, I know you don't want to admit that. AJ was like, nah.
Nah,
You gotta give him what you gotta give him love because he did go over 1,000 yards last year. He had 91 catches. We never had a receiver that we drafted do that. Clayton didn't do it.
it was force fed, man. It was force fed to him.
It don't matter, bro. He did it. And the point is he did it. The number one receiver always gonna get force fed. Look at Cooper Kupp.
Right. Yeah.
That's in every system. The number one receiver always gonna get force fed, but you can't say that. Look, he was flying by jokers. He wasn't. Is he AJ? Is he Rashad Bateman type? If Rashad was always healthy, I would say Rashad all around could be the one because Rashad showed me something in that Miami game. We took that slant to the house. I was like, I didn't know he was that fast. I knew he ran a fast 40, but track time and football time is different. You get on that field, you got to be able to get up. And he was going, and he got some wiggle to him. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be bait. I wish he wasn't hurt. I wish that it's just that injury. This injury right here is just bad luck. It's just straight bad luck, bro. Somebody step on your foot. You try to pull away. That's just one of them damn things you can't do nothing about. It's not like he was running and my ankle. He blew a tire. You know what I'm saying? It's just bad. But bro, we got something to show. I know everybody like to pull up stats, and I got love for Ross because I saw him on Unlocked and everything. And I know everybody pull up stats, but I look at who you played. You feel me? I'm not going to do what Bishop did, start preaching about the numbers, about how we going to win. I'm not going to do that. But I'm looking at who you beat and how you beat them. And we've had one of the toughest schedules in the beginning of the season. And we should have, if it wasn't for certain things that happened either on offense or whatever, we should be undefeated. Right? Can we all agree with that? Yes or no?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
gonna blame Raven C for this. We got off topic.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. You might as well blame him.
All DB versus they receivers. I'm gonna blame him for that. But
Sorry, brother.
for that, sticking on that notion, so I can let Bishop go. Like,
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You good. You good. I'm done. I'm done.
before you start, I'm gonna say this: we're talking about our DB versus the Saints receivers. Stay on that topic, please, good brother. Go ahead.
Okay, listen. Brandon Stevens has been the biggest failure. James Prochet said to Earl Costa, they said, who guarded you when you played at SMU? And he said, Brandon Stevens, who guarded the best receiver? Brandon Stevens, that's how he got drafted. I don't know how the hell that happened. I didn't have nothing. Marlon Humphrey can put his Studio 44 ass back in the slot and keep Pepe Williams supposed to control that island. But that cannot happen because you would immediately have to extend Pepe and he would have to get paid as well. But Marlon Humphrey gets beat. Open practice last year, he got beat. Open practice this year, he got beat. And all the big receivers always beat Marlon Humphrey. And so I'm putting him back in the slot, and you can build whatever ranch, and you can dress however you want to dress. And once you get it over the slant in the middle of the slot, you can punch the ball out, and we will have success. This is the recovering all-world Baltimore Ravens, headlined by Baby Ray Lewis, Roquan Smith from the Chicago Bears. This is going to be trouble. The DBs, Marcus Peters is just playing off, hoping that the ball just gets overly thrown, and he has a right to do that because he's trying to save himself all year long. Kyle Hamilton has the best length. I'm not going to say in the history of football, but if he gets better, and I give the kid a year because he's just a rookie, but from the flashes that he showed me, he's going to have a very, very promising future. But my guy and Cam, I'm going to give you this one name because I really want you to say, oh, yeah, Bishop told me. Geno Stone, man.
On the monster.
It is the interception king of the Baltimore Ravens. Remember I told you. Geno Stone hasn't had his chance to shine, and it will be limited with Marcus Williams coming because he's our contract guy.
Stone is going to replace Chuck. That's Chuck's replacement.
Definitely. And I cannot throw Chuck under the bus, being from my hometown, my home alma mater, my home school, everywhere. But Geno Stone, man, is the macho guy. He walked around training camp long, just walking around just like with a grud on his shoulder. Him and Tony Jeff. Tony Jeff, of course, because David the Ross School, he has so many other places to go. But Geno Stone has a great game, man. And this elite quarterback that we have now, I'm picking Geno Stone, man, for 1 or 2 picks this game.
Go ahead, AJ. DBs versus receivers. Our DBs versus.
Well, we all know, how Peters felt about Landry, of course, with his time when he was with Cleveland. Him and Odell, they was cracking jokes and talking and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Peters gonna want that matchup all day. And the same when we played the Bengals, and the same how when he had Jamar Chase 1-on-1, he was waving the safety off like, nah, I got him. I'm gonna show y'all. Remember, y'all when y'all put up all them numbers, I didn't play those games. I tore my ACL, but I'm back. You know what I'm saying? He showed us, what it is. I do feel like Peters is playing. It may be true, Bishop be trying to preserve his body, but sometimes I feel like he's not being as aggressive, and he playing too far off. He's not getting up in the chest. Maybe he just, like you said, trying to preserve his body. But that's a matchup I'm definitely looking forward to see. As far as Marlon, what I'm saying, I really haven't been keeping up with the Saints too much, but I do know Michael Thomas is out. Don't forget about Taysom Hill. He can line up anywhere on the field. They tight end, wide receiver, quarterback. You know what I'm saying, fullback, running back. I feel like this is a game where they are going to throw some trick plays out there, and if we don't keep our head on the swivel, then it could cost us, and they could take it to the house. Another thing too in the slot, I know Alvin Kamara just came back, but don't forget he can go out there and line up at wide receiver too in the slot and go out there. So we'll see with the addition of Roquan, will he just man the middle of the field as far as like, okay, look, I'm just gonna stop the run. or or Queen, what you want to do? Can you cover this guy? Out the backfield. I mean, what can you do? But I want to see Kyle Hamilton a little bit more in this game. Just to see what he can bring to the table. I'm kind of disappointed because Marcus Williams is not playing, knowing that he came, from New Orleans to us. I'm disappointed in that. I know he's disappointed in it as well, but he'll be back in time. Chuck, I feel like this game is going to play down in the box a little bit more than he normally does, and I feel like Geno still going to cover the back end. And he just got to watch it back there because in that Bucks game, man, it seems like he was in position, but he was out of position because he was too far down the field and not back up the field looking to help out. I feel like he could have came over with some interceptions and he had stopped one play from actually going to the house when he made a tackle. But that's what that is.
And let me just say this, he's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid. A team will love a tackling inside the box. He's an interception guy, but really that's not his thing anyway. He makes sure he's the last line of defense. And so, either way, Chuck Clark, he wouldn't sign an extension for a lower deal. He's gonna go and get more money, and he should. But he's great for us.
Yeah, I look at this matchup for us, receivers and corner. Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, man, they gotta take Chris Olave and enjoy the game. It's simple. Ryan Williams, he got to hold down his fort, like I said, with Traquan Smith, whoever it may be, Deontay Hardy, uh, Brandon Stevens got to hold his own, Marcus Callaway, like you said, Alvin Kamara can still line up there and play receiver, Taysom Hill at tight end, can flex out. We got to be aware of all that stuff right there. And Kyle Hamilton, like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him play a big role in this game. To take out, cover Taysom Hill, whatever tight ends they got. And just to be a force coming down here with 6'4", 6'5". So I definitely want to see those matchups right there. All right, I'm gonna get to this last segment. Then we'll get out of here. We're gonna go We're gonna go 3 keys to victory and score prediction. Cam, I know you don't do score prediction. You can give me the 3 keys and
Bad luck.
hold tight. Bishop, I know you gave us your score. You just give us your 3 keys. So Chris, you go ahead and give us your 3 keys to victory and your score prediction if you choose. So.
Yeah, I'm like Cam. I'm not. I don't do the score prediction things. I'm just. That's not my thing. I suck at that, man. I'm gonna say the 3 keys is don't turn the ball over, getting pressure on Andy Dalton, and red zone efficiency. I know when Ross was on here, he said the Saints were number one defense in the red zone, and yeah, I didn't know that. So that's going to be huge because I don't know what the Ravens ranking is. Like Cam said earlier, I don't really pay attention to the numbers like that. Just what I see, and from what we see, the Ravens have not been a good red zone offense. So going up against the best, let's see how they do because it hasn't been pretty this year, in the red zone. So hopefully it's something that they could improve on, and we could see more of that second half offense that we saw against the Bucks.
Okay, go ahead, Ken. Give us your 3 keys of victory.
One is I'm piggybacking off of what Chris said. Turnovers. I think we need to get back to doing what we did as far as not turning the ball over and we're number 2 in takeaways. So I need that to start. We've been doing it somewhat. We didn't do it in this past. I don't think in the Tampa Bay game we did. We didn't have any turnovers. But get back to what we do. And my only prediction, not really a prediction, I would like to see us play Raven football, like as far as on the defense. I need to see that type of Raven defense. And I've been waiting to see the marriage between the offense, that 2019 offense, and 06. I think 06 defense was better than, not really. In 2000, I know we ain't gonna never get to 2000, but I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? Like I know it's not that defense, brother. I'm just saying as far as I would like to see our defense play be that dominant Raven defense and have a dominant offense like we had in 2019. Not saying it got to be the same in the numbers. I didn't mean it in that way. I mean as far as just that marriage happening finally. that's about it. Other than that, like I said, turnovers and just keep it, you know, and keep their foot on the gas. Once you get the lead, just keep punching. They get paid like you do, so keep running up the score. They still gonna get their check.
Bishop, give me a 3. I know you gave me a score, but I want you to elaborate on why you picked that score. Give me 3 keys. Keep it brief. Mind you, try to get out of here. It's Friday, so go ahead.
I got whether Gus Edwards plays, running game to be very dynamic, moving the change. Also the speed. I told you guys, the shots down the field to all speed receivers. And last but not least, getting Anti Dalton on the ground. I think Roquan being there put and on down 5 or 6 times. And I think the defense will play lights out, man. We'll be fine. 30-17.
Okay, cool. All right, AJ, give me your 3 keys to the game. You're supposed
Three keys to the game is come out there when we get to the red zone, like I always preach. Patrick Ricard, just give him the ball, or just give me any running back. I don't care. Give me a running back behind him, and we're gonna run the ball. I don't care if it take all 4 downs. We're gonna run it in there, and Patrick Ricard is gonna open the hole up. Don't go in there and try to throw it at the goal line and all of that. Just play Ravens football, run the ball. That's what we need to do. Number 2. I know Calais Campbell is coming back. I feel like his snaps need to be limited in the Buccaneers game. D-line played great. I mean, Roger Washington stepped up. Travis Jones looked good. We did have a couple of gashes here and there, but let's keep his snaps under a minimum. And let's see what the pass rush gonna look like. Now Bowser coming back. Now you got Houston. You got JPP. Malik Harrison out there at outside linebacker as well, and Oway. So to me now, we really gonna see in this second half of the season what Oway really can do. Because like I said, right now he only got 1 sack, but it's not gonna be no more excuses of saying double team or he getting it. Nah, it ain't gonna be no more of that. You got guys rotating in and out. So if you just can't get it done, then you just not our guy. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. And number 3, Roman. Don't come out there to win the game. Don't come out there experiment. Come out there with actual plays, like how we did the second half Buccaneers game. Bring all those plays out, open it up, and let's go to work. And let's keep our foot on the gas, and don't let up. For this game, I say we're gonna get over 30 points this game. I'm taking 30, maybe 35 points, and I get a Saints 14 points. So it's gonna be a good game. Looking forward to it. And I'm just excited. Ready to see Roquan in action.
AJ, my Lord, what has gotten into you, man?
3 keys for me. Number 1, don't turn the football. That's it. Don't turn the football over. And then, get 7 versus 3. That's 1. Number 2, create turnovers and sacks. Get an offensive short field. I mean, only time I want to see Tucker on this field is kicking the extra point. I know it's probably not going to happen, but that's the only time I want him on the field. That's number 2. Number 3, Harbaugh. Do not take your points if it's there. If a 3 is there, definitely take it. Don't play renegade ball and get position. Score prediction, I said it the other day, I'm going 35-17 Ravens. That's it, everybody. Let anybody have some closing remarks. I'm going to get out of here. So I'm going to start with you, Chris.
Yeah, man. Anybody watching, you could check me out on the Deep Cover podcast with Michael Crawford and Kerry Stevenson. We just dropped the episode this morning, so please check that out.
I appreciate being on here with y'all brothers. Once again, it's always good to meet jokers that think like me. not always the same opinion, but that's fine. It's not too many Baltimore fans, at least that I know, that's up here in Jersey. So, it's always good, man, to chop it up with y'all.
You're in Jersey?
Yeah, I live in Jersey. I'm from Jersey.
I'm in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, so we close. Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all can follow me on Instagram. That's my Instagram right there. I am Camru 52. I didn't put the I am in the front, but other than that, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all inviting me on.
All right, Bishop, go ahead, man. Any closing remarks?
Always a blessings, man. I'm a diehard Raven man, whether we win, lose, or draw. Cam, AJ, it's been a pleasure, man. Follow me on Twitter. Bishop for mayor, ran for mayor, youngest to ever run in Suffolk, Virginia, didn't win, but I'm the youngest to ever run, so I'm the golden child. Instagram, son of a bishop, that cuss word out and replace it with my nickname. Peace.
All right, go ahead, Cole.
Yeah, I want to thank all y'all for coming on here talking Ravens football. You know, as always, good to always chop it up, have a conversation. My apologies for being late, y'all. Definitely gonna get it back on our schedule. You know what I'm saying, to where we doing our thing. But I want to thank y'all, and also shout out to my boys Jeff Ford, Chris Wright, Brian Murray, and Rick Barker for always checking us out as usual. They always send me stuff to either talk about or ask y'all or mention on the show. Also, want to tell everybody, if you haven't, please go like and subscribe. Check us out on YouTube at Talking Ravens all day, every day. You also can type in on YouTube and just type in Justin P and it come up on there. And if you want to, leave us comments. We want feedback. We want to know what y'all think. Y'all got something y'all want us to talk about, let us know. So once again, I want to thank all y'all. And like I said, if you haven't, please go like and subscribe. And I appreciate y'all.
I'll say one more thing. I just want to give a big shout out to our boy Couch Rider, yo. I know you're still out there overseas, man.
That's right. Oh, what's up, baby?
Come back home soon. I know when the tour's over in February, you get to come back home. So stay safe out there, brother.
Definitely shout out to my man Jermaine Lockett, man, aka Support, man. That's my guy right there. I talked to him here and there. He's doing pretty good over there.
Sure.
He definitely say he's gonna come on once he gets situated. He already put that bug in my ear. He back, So definitely shout out to him. All I want to say is thank you guys, thank you, Chris and Bishop. Of course, the MVP, AG's the MVP. My name. Joe was only as good as your call. He's the MVP, man. Love this man to death, man. And man,
Yes.
Mark. So like, them we the three amigos and make everything go. So everyone, y'all check us on YouTube, Twitter, all the links are in the description. My social media, AJ's Chris, Cam Bishop. We'll be back here Tuesday with lunch break, high take, and then like I said, Ross will be back on as well. So we're gonna do a recap. So definitely tune into that. And of course, I'm gonna have these guys on again as as the season goes on. I'm just gonna work out days and time. So have a lovely Friday. Enjoy all the festivities. And also remember the trade. If I don't know what trade means, it's right there. Talking Ravens all day, every day. I'm your host, my co-host, AD Sanson. My special guest, Christian Joker, Cam Root, and Bishop, the man, the Black man president. I'm going to see you guys Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do a recap of this Ravens Saints game. So y'all check that in. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Love you guys. We out.
All right. Peace.